Greetings, fellow humans. You know me as Iceman Caesar, and this is what's up in the world today. Gonna run through the two cards for tonight's NXT TakeOver Philadelphia and tomorrow's Royal Rumble. Two awesome cards, stacked top to bottom. Should be a great 2 nights of wrestling. So let's get right into it. Start with NXT TakeOver Philadelphia. First match, Cassius Ohno versus the Velveteen Dream. Man, awesome promo from the Dream this week on NXT. Everything from the beat to him queuing up the effects to his message to how he was presenting himself. It was just awesome. Exactly what you want to see from him going forward. And it kind of reminded me of him having his own interview segment. I could easily picture him awkwardly lying on a couch asking people questions and, the Velveteen Lounge or something. But, a segment like that could really help him stretch the legs on the character and kind of figure out what exactly he's going to be doing with it. So might be something to think about with him going forward. Tonight, I might have Cassius Ohno catch a win on him. Velveteen's showboating too much, and Cassius just catches one because Velveteen Dream is definitely one of the guys you're going to build around for the future. But some of these early feuds that guys get into early in their career can really help establish them long term, and I think him and Cassius could put together something really interesting. So it might be something to think about tonight, but they also may have other plans for Dream, so he could get the victory. It's going to be interesting to see which way they go. Next up, the Tag Team Championship match, Undisputed Era versus the Authors of Pain. You got to think the Authors of Pain are going to be called up soon. I mean, they've definitely benefited from every second they've spent in NXT, but I think they're more than ready to test themselves in bigger waters. And to me, it's a no-brainer to build up the Bludgeon Brothers as a dominant tag team that nobody can stop until the Authors of Pain show up and are able to stop them. I mean, those two teams could go around the country or go around the world just having great physical matches that could really help put all of them on the map. So I'm looking forward to when the Authors of Pain finally get called up. Undisputed Era just getting started in their title run, but with what they call themselves and how they present themselves, they definitely need to be delivering great matches, and it's got to start tonight with this first defense. But these two teams should be able to mix well together, and I'm really expecting good things from this match. Next up, we have the Women's Championship, Ember Moon versus Shayna Baszler. Now, to me, Shayna is definitely your next badass, dominant heel champion that you're going to have all the baby faces chasing. I think there's a lot of money in that. But I think there's still more of a story to build to her winning the title. So I'm not sure you do it here tonight. If it was me, I would do a finish where, Shayna has Ember in a submission and maybe Ember passes out, but Shayna won't release the hold. The referee reverses the decision, but when Ember comes to, she makes the ref restart the match. Ember gets the win, and that way you have both women have a legitimate claim to the title. And in your next match, I think that's where you do the switch. And maybe you do something like the Bob Backlund, Bret Hart finish from Survivor Series 1994, where Shayna has Ember in a submission and Ember just will not quit, and either the ref stops it or someone throws in a towel or just Ember eventually passes out. Just something like that to keep the heat behind Ember, but at the same time put the heat behind Shayna as she starts her run as a dominant heel champion. So I'm really looking forward to this match. I think it's going to be good. It's first time Shayna's going to have an opportunity on a big stage. Mae Young Classic is a big stage, but that was kind of separate away from WWE and NXT. So this is her first run on a WWE NXT stage, and I'm really looking forward to it. Next up, we have Aleister Black versus Adam Cole in an Extreme Rules match. This one is going to be awesome, and I'm very intrigued by it because I have no idea who's going to win. Both of these guys have been built up as legitimate contenders. You got to think this is a number one contender match. Both guys have shown they're ready for a run at the title with the title. So I really have no idea who they're going to put over here. The Extreme Rules should give guys a lot more opportunity to have fun in this match and make it easier for this match to really smoke. Both guys are really talented, so this should be an awesome match. And either way, no matter who wins, as long as it's a great match, I think both guys are going to come out raising their stocks. So really looking forward to that one. Last but not least on the card tonight, for the NXT Championship, Andrade Cien Almas versus Johnny Gargano. Before I even get into it, I'm just going to throw it out there. Somebody needs to get a security team, police presence, anything around Tommaso Ciampa, because that son of a bitch is going to be... There's no way he's going to allow Johnny Gargano to be NXT champion. But having said that, I love Johnny Gargano. I'm a big fan, but I just don't know if he pulled the trigger tonight. Just like with Shayna Baszler, I think there's a lot more story that you can tell, and definitely should drag it out. And even though it's going to piss me off in the moment, I'm thinking that you probably have Ciampa cost them the match here to reignite their feud, because due to unfortunately Ciampa being injured, couldn't go at all with their feud after you did that awesome breakup angle. So Ciampa coming here and costing Johnny the match would really get things going and kind of restart that feud. I was really looking forward to the feud, and hoping that they restart it and get it going here. This should be an awesome match no matter what the finish is. Andrade is just coming off what I believe is a 5-star match with Drew McIntyre last TakeOver, and Johnny Gargano's capable of putting on a 5-star match anytime he steps in the ring. So I think this match is going to be really, really great. So that's it for NXT TakeOver Philadelphia. I think it's going to be an awesome show top to bottom. It's going to set a high bar for Sunday's Royal Rumble. So hopefully everyone enjoys it tonight. So let's get into the preview for Sunday's Royal Rumble. Start with the match for the SmackDown Live Tag Team Championships. The Usos versus Chad Gable and Shelton Benjamin. This is going to be a 2 out of 3 falls match. One of my favorite matches out of all the special gimmick matches, because 2 out of 3 falls just it allows both teams to get a win if you're going to go that direction, and it always seems to make for more exciting matches. So I'm always really excited when they put the 2 out of 3 fall stipulation on. The Usos have put themselves in the conversation for one of the best tag teams of all time in this recent run. I thought they were already a really great tag team coming into this brand split, but ever since the brand split, they turned heel. They've just really stepped up their game, and their matches are just 4 to 5 stars each and every time they go out there, whether it's on pay-per-view or on TV on SmackDown or at the house shows. These guys just deliver each and every night, and I've become a big fan. I really think they put themselves in the conversation for one of the best tag teams of all time. Chad Gable and Shelton Benjamin, I feel, are really starting to come into their own lately and are really starting to get that chemistry together as a team. I think at first, it took them a little bit to start to gel and get together, but their coming out party was the last pay-per-view. I don't know how Chad Gable stayed in the match with the spinning kick that he took from Kofi, and then after that he took even more punishment. So one of the most resilient wrestlers in the WWE, and Shelton Benjamin proving that he can still go and he's got a lot left in the tank. So I think this match, I have high expectations for this match. I think it's got to be Chad Gable and Shelton Benjamin's night here. They won this titles on SmackDown, but due to instant replay and much to Chad Gable's chagrin, they reversed the decision. So I'm thinking this has got to be their night. I don't know where you go. It's tough to kind of keep them into the conversation for the titles if they lose here. So I'm thinking it would be a good opportunity to give them a shot and see where they can go with this. Next up, over to the Raw side for the Raw Tag Team Championships, we have Seth Rollins and Jason Jordan versus The Bar. It's going to be interesting to see if we all know this Seth Rollins and Jason Jordan team is not a long-term thing. It's just going to be short-term, but it'll be interesting to see if they break the team up and have them lose tonight, or if they extend it and do it a little bit later. There's lots of time between now and the Royal Rumble, so I don't think their hands are tied to doing it tonight. But one of the rumors I heard floated around earlier this week was that they're thinking about doing Seth Rollins versus Jason Jordan singles at WrestleMania, and I think Triple H versus Kurt Angle is also still on the table. But I really hope they don't go the 2 singles route direction. I kind of think they should combine both and head into a tag team match with Triple H and Jason Jordan versus, Seth Rollins and Kurt Angle. I think that opens up a lot better storyline possibilities, and I think it just makes for a better match at WrestleMania. It kind of makes it easier to hide the weaknesses and showcase the positives. And I just think there'll be a lot more heat behind both matches if you kind of put them together. The Bar have really put themselves, to me, I just keep thinking about a fantasy matchup between them and the British Bulldogs. I just think that would be, I think you could watch that match 1,000 times and never get bored, but it's too bad we never see it. But I'm really happy that, the whole run with the Bar started. Who would have thought that, when Mick Foley put them together, they would, be this good and go on this good of a run. And, be able to put on the great matches that they have. It's just been a very, very pleasant surprise, and I've become a very big fan of the Bar. So should be another awesome match tonight. Next match, we have for the WWE Championship, AJ Styles versus Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens in a handicap match. This is an interesting stipulation. Sometimes these matches can be really great, and sometimes they can really suffer due to the stipulation, but I'm thinking these guys will be able to pull out a good one. The rumor mill is suggesting that they might have done this because Kevin Owens is a little bit banged up right now, and hopefully that's not the case. We're heading into WrestleMania season. Definitely want one of the major players like Kevin Owens as healthy as possible. But it's really awesome to see them put Sami Zayn in the title picture. I mean, he seemed to be just lost, going nowhere a few months ago, and they made that change, aligned him with Kevin Owens, and it's just been a brand new path for him. He's been awesome in this heel role, and Sami Zayn can deliver one of the best matches you've ever seen any night of the week. So I think if Kevin Owens is a little bit banged up, I don't think the match will suffer because AJ Styles and Sami Zayn are two of the best in the world. I think the best storyline possibilities going from here is with AJ Styles retaining the title. I'd love to see Sami Zayn get it. I mean, it would be a great opportunity to do it for him, but I just think that with everything set up in the Rumble and everything they've set up on SmackDown, it's probably better storyline-wise for AJ to retain here. And moving on to the Raw side again, for the WWE Universal Championship, Brock Lesnar versus Braun Strowman versus Kane. It's going to be Braun's time soon with the title, that's for sure, but I don't think it's here yet. I think you got to build that up and make it a much bigger deal and a much bigger moment. But I'd have him come as close as you possibly can multiple times in this match. Like, I'd really have him push Brock to the limit and Kane to the limit, and just, this match to me is about, pushing Braun up and really putting the spotlight on him. Even though, and Brock too, but like Braun is the guy, one of your guys you're building around for the future. So you really gotta have him put in a good showing here. It's nice. This is probably going to be the one last stand for Kane in the main event scene. But it's nice. Some people might question why Kane is in the main event here, but as to put a cap on a great career, I'm definitely okay with this. Kane always steps up in the big match situations, and this one will be no different. I think it's going to be really good. And even though it's the predictable thing everyone's expecting, I think you should have Brock get the pin on Kane here. I mean, you don't want Braun taking a fall, but it's not Braun's time to win the title yet, so I think you just do the predictable thing and do Brock over Kane. Sometimes being unpredictable just for the sake of it kind of ruins the story, so I think they should do the predictable thing and go with a Brock Lesnar win here. All right, now to what everybody wants to talk about, the two main spotlights of the show. First, we'll talk about the first ever Women's Royal Rumble. Really excited about this. It's long overdue that they finally get one. I gotta say though, coming into the months coming into the Royal Rumble, leading up to it, before they announced the Royal Rumble, I always saw a lot of people questioning whether they could successfully pull off a Women's Royal Rumble. Did they have enough women? But to me, that was crazy since they just did a successful tournament with 32 women on the WWE Network without any women from the main roster and only a handful from NXT. So, I mean, you have the Mae Young Classic is its own Royal Rumble right there. So, and then you have all the ladies from WWE and NXT. I just thought it was crazy to think that, that you wouldn't have that. One of the talking points is that there aren't enough women to do a 30 women Royal Rumble. So really glad they decided on the 30 number, and really glad we're here ready on the eve of the first ever Women's Royal Rumble. It's going to be awesome. So let's talk about the potential winners first. Got to talk about the elephant in the room, Ronda Rousey. I don't think it would be a bad idea to have her win, but I think it might be a better idea to have her come really close and then maybe put somebody else over, like she's about to win or thinks she's won and somebody kind of comes from behind and steals it. I just, with how she's been built up, and everybody knows that, everyone knows the deal about wrestling, so she's coming in with a lot of hype, and sometimes when people come in with a lot of hype like that and they get these big wins, it gives people a chance to roll their eyes and go, oh, whatever, that's not real, or just sometimes it can take you out of the moment. Sometimes it's the right thing to do, but it's interesting here to see kind of which way they should go. I think they should go have Ronda think she's dominate, but think she's won or think she's gonna win, and then have, I would have Bayley sneak up from behind and steal the win. Because with the disaster of how they booked the Bayley character, I think they could really undo a lot of that damage if she's able to get this victory here in the first Women's Royal Rumble, and especially over Ronda Rousey, because that have her eliminate Ronda, and then Ronda's always obviously be very pissed off and just attacks her right after. You can cut to the back and show that the MMA four horsemen women have barricaded the locker room so nobody can get out. And then you realize that no matter what, win, lose, or draw, the plan was for Ronda Rousey and the four horsewomen to attack whoever was in the ring. Obviously, they thought Ronda would be the winner, but since Bayley stole the win, now she gets the beating even worse, and that kind of sets your four horsewomen storyline, sets it off going towards WrestleMania. And so you could do something like have Ronda Rousey get the title, and then it's Bayley versus Ronda at WrestleMania, or you could kind of take Bayley out of the equation and have the other four horsewomen go with the MMA four horsewomen, or you could figure out a story to do it all. But I just think that with a character that still has a lot of fire amongst the fans with Bayley, I think you combine that with Ronda Rousey's mainstream popularity, and you kind of create a big angle and storyline there. But lots of potential possibilities. I mean, it's definitely, I don't think it would be a bad idea for Ronda to win. You get the mainstream publicity and you get people talking, but I just think it would be more beneficial to kind of spread that around a little bit over to another woman. But let's moving on to some other possibilities. They could use this Royal Rumble to try and make one of the new women they brought up. I mean, Mandy Rose to me looks like she's ready to take the next step. I've noticed her doing a lot of little things well, and improving even since she's debuted. And she's got the look. She has a little bit of work to do to go in the ring, but I think she's good enough to be able to carry herself in the bigger match situations, and she's just going to get better and better. So she's definitely a candidate to win. Ruby Riott, Ruby's all ready to go, and she's kind of stepped up in the leadership role of the Riott Squad very well. So she's a candidate to kind of really establish her right off the bat. Nia Jax, I think Nia Jax is kind of hurt by even though being in a famous wrestling family can be a lot of help, but it also can hurt you in the eyes of the fans, because then anytime you accomplish anything, they just roll their eyes and say, "Oh, they're just giving it to her because she of her family." And so I mean, even though all these women and men still work hard and that are in wrestling families, it's like, they can never. It seems like they can never accomplish anything because it's always tied back to their family and stuff. But I think in the last few weeks and months, Nia Jax has been showing a lot more personality, and I think she's starting to shake off a lot of that. Where people are just like kind of brushing off everything she does to her family. I don't know. I mean, because of how she's been kind of showing more personality, I think building that, I probably wouldn't do the win here. I might try and create some adversity with her in the fans. Get the fans to be like, hey, like maybe have, like kind of have a screwy way to get her eliminated from the Rumble. That way people can be like, she shouldn't have been eliminated. She should still be in there. So I really like what they're doing with Nia lately. I think she's definitely a candidate to win. But I mean, really, you could go through every single woman, and they're all candidates to win. I mean, Sasha Banks winning the first Royal Rumble could really get her boss character back going again. Becky Lynch, I mean, she was the first SmackDown Live Women's Champion, so to be the first Women's Champion could be, a great thing to really establish her as one of the main players. I mean, she already is, but, it would really kind of solidify her up there. Carmella, already the first Women's Money in the Bank winner, first Women's Royal Rumble winner, and the first woman or man to hold both the Money in the Bank briefcase and a Royal Rumble title shot at the same time. That could really establish her as a main player. So, I mean, they really have a lot of options here with the first Women's Royal Rumble, and, I really hope they put a lot of thought and effort into it and don't just kind of, make the winner just the popular choice. I really hope they make the best storyline, the best business choice, and the best popular choice too. But I think you can find a way to combine all the elements, to find that the one winner that can really kind of take the division to the next step. And so let's talk about surprises for the Women's Royal Rumble. What I'd like to see. I definitely want to see Medusa make a surprise appearance. I'm not sure if she is able to safely compete even in a match like the Royal Rumble, but just to see that Medusa stare and that Medusa walk to the ring one more time. There's just, you see her in interviews and, you see her at the Hall of Fame, but there's just something. She is a perfect example of turning the switch. It's like there is something when you see her come out as Medusa, there is a stare that sends a shiver down your spine, and that determined walk, it's just like you want to get out of the way. So I know it'd be interesting to see the reaction from some of the women if they saw that Medusa stare and Medusa walk one more time. But I'm really hope that she's able to compete in the Royal Rumble. Another surprise, Molly Holly. I'm always a big fan of Molly Holly. Love the mighty Molly Holly character and everything. So she's one of the best women's wrestlers of all time. So I really hope that she's able to make an appearance. Trish and Lita, the first ever women's main event on Raw. So it would be fitting for them to take part in the first ever women's Royal Rumble. And it's always nice to see Trish and Lita back on the screen. So hopefully both of them are able to make an appearance. I'm hoping to see some of the Mae Young Classic competitors. That was an awesome tournament. It really made me a fan of every woman in there, and I think any single woman they put in could, have a good showing in the Royal Rumble. So, really looking forward to see if they bring in any of the Mae Young Classic competitors. Michelle McCool, haven't seen her in a long time. She helped carry the division through a period to where it is now. So she looks like she's in shape where she could definitely still go in the ring. So it'd be nice to see her get a chance to come out and show what she can do with this new generation of women's wrestlers. And so my pick for the Iron Woman for tonight, for tomorrow's Women's Royal Rumble, is I would have to go with Becky or Carmella. I think both of them could really take the Iron Man spot and kind of run with it and really help establish themselves as one of the main players going forward. So those two would be one of my candidates to be the Iron Woman. My pick to start things off is 1 and 2. I think I got to go with Sasha and Becky. It would be a great moment for two of the 4 horsewomen, and can't really think of any two better women to start things off, and they would get things started off with a lot of fire. So hopefully they get to start it off, but anybody that does should be able to get the Rumble off going on a good start. So that's the Women's Royal Rumble. Now we'll move on to the Men's Royal Rumble. First thing I want to say is just everyone, don't do this to yourselves. Like, Daniel Bryan has no chance in hell of being in the Royal Rumble, never mind winning it. So just don't do that to yourselves. I mean, I did it to myself for 2015, 2016, even 2017. I had a little bit of hope that maybe Daniel Bryan would come back and make this surprise appearance, and we get that Royal Rumble moment we've been wanting since 2014. But it's just no chance in hell. So just don't do that to yourselves, please. But to me, my pick, who I think should win the Royal Rumble, is based on the story that they've been telling for basically most of the year in 2017, at least the last half of it. But the story that they've been building to me, is Kevin Owens winning the Royal Rumble. The story on SmackDown Live has all been about Shane McMahon not wanting being just sick and tired of Kevin Owens' attitude and the way he acts and the things he does, and he just doesn't want him near the WWE title. He doesn't want him near the main events. He doesn't want him near promotional things for WWE. And at this point, he doesn't even want him in the WWE. Like, he is fed up. He is done. So for Kevin Owens to win the Royal Rumble and get the chance to be in the match that is the biggest showcase for WWE should drive the Shane McMahon character insane. I mean, he wouldn't be able to eat or sleep knowing that at WWE's biggest, most important showcase, on their most important night, it's going to rely on Kevin Owens as being part of it. Like, Shane McMahon, that would just make him go out of his mind. So I think the story they've been building to and the story they've been telling and the right story for the Rumble is Kevin Owens to win. But as we've seen with Daniel Bryan, just because they've been setting up a story doesn't mean that it's going to be told the way that we think. So, excuse me. I really think that Kevin Owens only has a slightly better chance than Daniel Bryan, but really probably no chance. To me, there's only four guys have a legitimate shot at winning this. Roman Reigns is going to win this. I think they'd be crazy to do it again, to have him win again in Philly. Because, I mean, to me, honestly, I think in the 2015 Rumble, the way they did it, they killed off a decent chunk of their hardcore fans that, show up and show up to all the events and make lots of noise and buy the merchandise and buy the network and talk about WWE online and in public and everywhere. And just the people that are, like so into WWE and just the hardcore fans, I really think they killed off a decent chunk of them because they're just sick of getting the middle finger stuck in your face. The way Daniel Bryan just gets eliminated like that, and then, and the way a lot of the fan favorites are just dumped out like garbage, and then for Roman Reigns, the guy that has been the lightning rod for all the controversy, he wins the Rumble. It was just, to me, that was just a complete disaster of a Royal Rumble, and for them to come back to Philly and have Roman win, I think is just crazy, and to me, it's just frustrating to see them try and force this make Roman look strong push on the fans. Like, it's not, I just don't think it's ever going to work the way they want it to. And to me, until Roman becomes a 97 Bret Hart type heel and really gives it back to the fans, I just don't think he's going to be able to get to the level they want him to get to. Like, if he became a 97 Bret Hart type heel and was just like, for the people that like me, we're good. For the people that don't, you can kiss my ass. Like, if he had got that Bret Hart 97 edge, I think we'd see Roman Reigns get to the level they want him to. I mean, he'd probably be a heel for about 2 weeks before the fans started cheering him with that kind of an attitude. But to me, they got to change things up for Roman Reigns and force feeding him into another Rumble win, into a main event with Brock Lesnar that, not a lot. I mean, I'm sure it's not going to be a horrible match, but I don't think it's the best storyline or the best thing that, most people want to see. But to me, Roman Reigns is 95% chance that he's winning the Royal Rumble. The next person I think has the most chance is Randy Orton. I'm a Randy Orton fan, but after last year's awful WrestleMania match, I don't know how you reward him with another Royal Rumble win and another WWE Championship match at WrestleMania. To me, Bray and Randy had just a great feud coming into WrestleMania, and they put on a total stinker, and it really didn't even look like either guy was that into the match either. So I'm a Randy Orton fan, but to me, I just don't know how you reward last year's effort with another Royal Rumble win this year. But he's definitely a guy that could win it. Third, I think the guy that has third most chance of winning, Shinsuke Nakamura. He's been talked about, but really, if they didn't pull the trigger on him against Jinder Mahal at SummerSlam, I honestly can't see them pulling the trigger against 29 other guys in the Royal Rumble for a main event shot at WrestleMania. So, Shinsuke's name has been thrown out there, but I would be very surprised if he is able to get the win. And the fourth person I think has the fourth person I think has the shot of winning the Royal Rumble is Finn Balor. His stock seems to have risen in the last few weeks. Seems like they might be getting behind him a little bit more. They chose him before his injury to be the first WWE Universal Champion. So, if they're back on the Finn Balor train, I think he's definitely a candidate to win. But I think it's a long shot at best at this point. Yeah, to me, those are the four guys, the only four guys that have a chance of winning this thing: Roman Reigns, Randy Orton, Shinsuke Nakamura, or Finn Balor. I'd be very shocked if anybody else walks out with it. It's been thrown out there that Baron Corbin is rumored as one of the winners. He would have been a great pick if they hadn't started cutting his legs out from under him in the last half of 2017. He had a lot of momentum. He was improving in the ring, and they just started giving him some brutal losses, like loses his Money in the Bank shot. Getting a pretty good ass kicking in the opening match against John Cena, and just it was just losing in the first round of the U.S. title tournament. It's just he's just lost a lot of the momentum. It's a damn shame because Baron Corbin is a talent. I'm a fan of him. I think he would have been a good candidate to win, but I just don't see how it's a good idea to do it now that you've totally cut the legs out from under him leading up into this. So, but to me, I would have Baron Corbin be the Iron Man, and last for most of the match, be there at the end, so that this way at least he doesn't win, but he puts on a great showing, and he can a lot of fans really gravitate towards whoever is the Iron Man. So it might give him a chance to gain some more fans, get some more respect from the fans, be like this guy he actually gave her the entire match, didn't just lie in the corner. So if he puts in a lot of effort and they let him be the Iron Man, I think it could go a long way to getting that momentum going again for Baron Corbin. He's my pick for Iron Man. For surprises, I think they've almost tapped out of surprises. I mean, there's people they could bring back again that have already showed up, and there's some legends that you might not think would have been able to compete in a Royal Rumble that could put on the gear one more time and come out. But I don't know. To me, it's where we basically tapped out on all the craziest surprises. So I'm not really kind of looking forward to any surprises. If they come, it'll definitely be a surprise because I am not really thinking of any at all. Just last thing I want to say about the Rumble. One year they got to just say, give it to Kofi Kingston because they've made him Mr. Royal Rumble. He's done lots of cool spots and but it's just kind of it feels like it just doesn't feel right without him winning one. You give him tons of you give him all this credit, but in the end it's like he's never won. He's done all these crazy things and never won. And just with in today's day and age where WWE is basically the main draw. And it's not all on the performer to carry the company and the business. I really think it's the best period of time to give a guy like Kofi Kingston a chance because it would get people talking. Kofi's a guy that can deliver in the ring. He had his run in 2009 that built him a lot of momentum. Didn't pay off like we'd all hoped, but you can still kind of go back to that and see the potential that Kofi Kingston has. And it would be with all of the history of him in the Royal Rumble, you could put together a really good video package with him win. But I just think one of these years, when they have other attractions to sell WrestleMania and the company's really going strong into the WrestleMania, I think they should, just one year, just pull the trigger. I mean, who would ever expect Kofi Kingston winning a Rumble? And it'd be a really kind of cool thing to do after all the history he's had in the Rumble. But okay, so that'll do it for the previews for both NXT TakeOver Philadelphia and the Royal Rumble. I'm really excited for both shows, especially the Royal Rumble. 2 Royal Rumbles in one night. First ever Women's Royal Rumble. I am completely jacked for that show. I can't wait for Sunday night. Royal Rumble is always one of my favorite pay-per-views anyways, but this year with a really great card and 2 Royal Rumbles, it just should be one of the best nights of the year, and it could be one of the best nights in the history of WWE. So really looking forward to it. Hope NXT sets a high bar tonight for the show tomorrow like they always do. So hope everyone enjoys it. Thanks for coming along for the ride. See you soon down the road. Much love and God bless. Peace.